Dr. Garvey Lundy received his PhD in sociology from the Pennsylvania State University and currently teaches sociology at the Bluebell campus of Montgomery County Community College in Pennsylvania. Dr. Lundy is originally from Haiti and has lived in the United States for several years. He has been a research associate at Princeton and the University of Pennsylvania, where he held a distinguished postdoctorate fellowship. His research interests are the sociology of education, race and ethnic relations, and Haitian migration. Among his publications are The Source of the River, The Social Origins of Freshmen at America's Selective Colleges and Universities, and several other articles of which, and then of this one of which he co-authored. More recently, he edited a special issue of the Journal of Black Studies, examining the Haitian earthquake of 2010. Dr. Lundy is also a senior fellow of this institute, the Molefi Kete Asante Institute for Afrocentric Studies. He's a father, a brilliant thinker, a wonderful human being, a humanist, and we're delighted to have him to speak to us today about Haiti 2 years after the earthquake of January 2010.
We all know of the devastation that Haiti incurred on January 12, 2010, a 7-point earthquake on the Richter scale that killed an estimated 250,000 people. We all know about it. I don't want to relive that because the images and the enormous statistics are kind of devastating. We've seen enough of it, right? But since this disaster, a disaster that I must add has a tremendous political and historical precursor. The conditions that made the disaster possible were largely political and historical. But that aside, since the disaster, Haiti has become a cause célèbre, meaning people like Sean Penn, George Clooney, Sandra Bullock have adopted Haiti to give legitimacy to their liberal and humanitarian credentials. I'm here to talk about what has happened since then, all right? Because Haiti and its condition has sort of fallen out of the radar of the media. But things are still happening that still needs our attention. So let me go over what it is I'm going to talk to you about. My talk is divided into 3 parts. The first one, we're going to look at the current president of Haiti, Michel Joseph Marceline, otherwise known as Sweet Mickey or President Tête Calée. President Tête Calée means bald-headed president. He shaved his head. So Haiti has a tradition of giving their presidents enduring terms. I guess here we use Bill, whatever. We shorten the names, give nicknames. Well, Aristide's name was Titide, Duvalier, Papa Doc, Baby Doc. For him, is President Tête Calée. The second part of my talk, to look at the progress or lack thereof that has been made on the ground in Haiti since the earthquake. What has happened? What is the condition of Haiti since the earthquake? What is happening? People don't know about this. And 3, it's a sort of a question which sort of extends beyond the second one. Who is profiting? Who is making money? Because right now, I was recently in Haiti, and there's lots of capital in Haiti. But who's making that money? And where is it coming from? All right? So let's begin. Presidential politics. On March 20th, 2011, Haiti elected Michel Joseph Marceline as their new president to succeed the government of René Préval, who was formerly the prime minister, formerly of Aristide. This election and the preceding campaign took place within the year of what is perhaps the worst natural disaster Haiti has ever experienced. This is saying a lot. The worst natural disaster Haiti has ever experienced. For a country that has had its share of natural disasters, to say that it is the worst, that's saying a lot. I mean, Haiti is a perennial issue in the news because of its political and natural disasters. Mr. Marceline, or Sweet Mickey, garnered 67% of the vote. That's impressive, right? Mm-hmm. You name your president today in the U.S. who can get 67% of the vote. Right. He got 67% of the vote. We can conclude that he was loved, that the people really wanted him, right? Right? Is that what you can? Right? Ha. But the fact is, he had a mandate. But the fact of the matter is, right? There was less than 25% of the electorate turned out for the election. Less than 25% of the people capable of voting came out to vote. In reality, only 16% of possible voters in the whole pool of population of electorate voted for Sweet Mickey or President Ted Kale. That means roughly 3/4 of those eligible to vote chose not to vote. And this is important. That is, a majority of the Haitian population chose not to go vote. They were not participating in the civil process. What's happening here, right? First, Haiti's largest political party, Famille, was banned from the election. This is the most popular political party in Haiti. It is the one that elected Aristide twice and elected his former prime minister, René Préval, to presidency. Imagine this. If the Democratic Party was banned from an election in the U.S., would you vote? I mean, it's unfortunate that we're so tied to the Democratic Party, but that is the situation, the banning of the Famille Lavalas. Okay? This is Haiti's largest political party. All right? Haiti, this is the party that was removed from power in 91 and 2004. All right? Its leader, Jean-Bertrand Aristide, had been banned from the election process despite being far and away Haiti's most popular political party. Second, all Lavalas-like parties were also banned. So if you had a political orientation that was similar to Lavalas, you were banned. Now what does this mean? Lavalas is a political party that represents the people. It is a party that speaks for the people. The term Lavalas means flood. It was at the forefront of the removal of the dictators of Papa Dog and Baby Dog, the Duvalier government. It was at the forefront of the revolution of 1986. And it has been banned from the political arena. All right? Additionally, in the first round of the election, there were numerous irregularities that was documented by various institutions. So the whole process was fraught with irregularities. People were suspicious of the whole political process to begin with. This is above and beyond the fact that Lavalas had been banned. Again, imagine an election in the U.S. where the Democratic Party was banned, and you had to choose between two right-wing parties, the Republican Party led by Mitt Romney, or the Libertarian Party led by Ron Paul. Would you vote? Most of us would not vote. And that was the case in Haiti. At the end of the day, this whole process had the full support of the State Department. Believe it or not, Marceline spent $6 million to campaign to run for the presidency. Okay, $6 million. And most of that money was supported or was given to him by far-right members of the United States, Europe, including members of John McCain's 2008 election team. The current president of Haiti, ladies and gentlemen, Marceline, has substantial support from right-wing organizations that were involved in the coup d'etat in Haiti in 91 and 2004. This man is the current president of Haiti and has the full support of Hillary Clinton. All right? He has even admitted to being a former member of the Tonton Macoutes. Anybody in here know what the Tonton Macoutes are? Right? The Tonton Macoutes. This is a paramilitary force that was established by Duvalier that terrorized Haiti for nearly 30 years. They raped, they manned, they stole at will, right? It is not surprising, given that fact, that during the campaign, Martley referred to the former president, Jean-Bertrand Aristide, with homosexual slurs and threatened him with sexual violence and death. He did this openly during his campaign. The man is vile and has a vile mouth, all right? Martley has also promised to reconstitute the Haitian army. This is one of his political platforms. He will reconstitute the army of Haiti, which has been banned or had been disestablished by Jean-Bertrand Aristide. The army, which was established after the U.S. occupation of 1915 and 1929, is an army not for the people, but an army against the people. It is an army that was central to the nearly 30-plus coup d'etat that has occurred in Haiti. It is a source of instability, and all it does is rob the nation of its capital resources, because most of it goes to feeding the army. Right. So who is Marceline? This is the president of Haiti, the current president of Haiti. I hope you can see these pictures, okay? Wow. This is before he became president. He was a popular singer. He liked to cross-dress, and he tends to be quite vulgar. Here he has a skirt, and he has some sort of like a phallus belt around him, right? And here he's singing with a skirt again. This is Marceline, very popular, very much a populist. And this is him again, with his hands between his legs, singing probably some vulgar song. And I should mention that during many of his news conferences, he's prone to being quite vulgar if he doesn't like the questions that are asked of him. Okay, he will insult the journalist's mother, in ways that I can't mention here. And this is another picture of the current president when he was known as Sweet Mickey. 200% caca, meaning 200% doo-doo, 200% poop. And this is saying, "Ne pas peur en rien," we are not afraid of anything, right? So this is the current president. And this is the man he so adamantly opposed. Oh, yeah. A man of great dignity. I was told to show these pictures. My wife likes family pictures. I have about 100 pictures I can show, but she said limit it to just 2. But this is a man who fought for Haiti and its population, who fought for the masses, who fought for the poor, who fought for the peasants. And this is
oh, that's beautiful.
Aristide and my handsome son.
That's right.
I have to take this picture or show this picture.
That's good.
All right. Well, what are the conditions after the earthquake? All right. The plight of about 400,000 Haitians still living under tarps and tents since the January 12, 2010 earthquake has surged into the streets and headlines, highlighting one of Haiti's most explosive and intractable issues. For almost a year now, the government of President Michel Marceline has trumpeted a program entitled 1616. What is 1616? Under this program, 30,000 residents of 6 large camps that are scattered around Port-au-Prince and Haiti, in public spaces, would be resettled to their original but repaired 16 neighborhoods. So 6 camps with hundreds and thousands of people all over Haiti living under tarp tents were meant to be resettled into their original 16 neighborhoods. Okay, this sounds good, right? To encourage the people to leave, to give them an incentive, he said that he would give each family $500 per year as support. Okay? Well, according to the press and all neutral observers, this 1616 program is a fraud. Nothing has come about it. It's really an attempt on the part of Marceline to be an overtly populist government without delivering substantially to the people. This 1616 program is demanding permanent housing solutions, right? It demands the Haitian people, after the earthquake, demand permanent housing for thousands, hundreds of thousands still living in displacement camps around Port-au-Prince. But this is not happening. In fact, as we speak today, people are being evicted from these temporary camps, as many of the high military officials who own these large spaces are seeking to reclaim them. They're physically evicting people, torturing people so they can leave. Why? Because there's profits to be made. These lands, are on territories, or on locations which are being vied for by NGOs. There's a land grab occurring right now in Haiti, and people are out to make a profit. But people are protesting. People are demanding a solution to their problems. Protesters press for congressional and parliamentary action in the US, Canada, and Europe to support the construction of housing for displaced Haitians. They want to raise the international awareness that the crisis through news media and solicit support from housing rights organizations around the world. The centerpiece of this campaign is an international online petition demanding that the Haitian government address Haiti's epidemic of homelessness. It is addressed to President Marceline, Haitian Prime Minister, and the US Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. In fact, in a 6-page report published in June 2012 by the Jesuit-supported Port-au-Prince-based Center for Research, Reflection, and Training for Social Action, SURFAS provides some important statistics about the conditions currently in Haiti since the earthquake. It says that on the eve of the earthquake, an estimated 300,000 new lodging were required. All right? That's a lot. It notes that in 2010, post-earthquake survey commissioned and directed by the Haitian Public Works, Transportation and Communication Ministry that showed 20% of the estimated 500,000 dwellings in the capital were damaged beyond repair, and another 25% were unsafe, requiring structural repair. People, the conditions in Haiti require permanent, stable, and safe housing. But what has happened? Well, SURFAS estimates that over 100,000 of these T-shelters, or temporary shelters, have been erected, compared to 13,000 homes repaired and 5,000 permanent homes built. Temporary shelters have absorbed 79% of the $461 million spent on housing so far. All right? So the majority of the money that is being spent on these temporary housing, not permanent housing. These temporary housings are made of tarp. They're tents. You go to Haiti right now, you'll see places full of tents. Even now, housing construction is still focused on building temporary shelters with another 5,000 forecast. SURFAS notes critically that the temporary shelter are becoming permanent homes. All right? Under those conditions, given all the money that has been given by international organizations and NGOs, who is making the money? Where is the money going right now? Well, I ran across a term that I found quite revealing, and hits the mark. It's called disaster capitalism. All right, this was a term that was put forth by a journalist, Naomi Klein, in her article, The Shock Doctrine. She argues that international organizations, NGOs, thrive in disaster areas. Take, for example, Afghanistan. This is perhaps, it has the largest concentration of NGOs anywhere in the world, second, anywhere in the world. Contractors are making millions and thriving off the misery of the people. The same is occurring right now in Haiti. Following the one-year anniversary of the quake, Alex Dupuy, a professor of sociology at Wesleyan, wrote that the estimated cost of the damage amounted to nearly $14 billion in February this year. And this money was a tidy sum that was being made largely by U.S. companies. There are more than 1,500 U.S. contracts in Haiti worth over $250 million. Only about 20%, I'm sorry, only about 20 of those went to Haitian-based organizations, all right? The rest has gone to U.S. firms, which almost exclusively use U.S. suppliers. So this is a way for the NGOs and other international organizations to profit. He added, although these foreign contractors employ Haitians mostly on a cash-for-work basis, and the money is not much. When I was last in Haiti, I knew many people who worked for various NGOs. They're not making much. The money is being made by the managers, okay, the supervisors, who are oftentimes foreigners, right? The bulk of the money and profits are reinvested in the United States. Nora Rasman, the interim director of Latin America and Caribbean policy for Trans-Africa Forum, who worked on the ground in Haiti, has said, USAID has made it very clear to us that they don't have the capacity on the ground to carry out everything they have promised in terms of reconstruction. Thus, most of the money allocated to Haiti goes back to NGOs in the U.S. Okay, so it's a matter of paying NGOs and their infrastructure. All right. In fact, what is happening right now, there's a movement by Bill Clinton and his institution to open up vast industrial parks, to tap into the low wage market, the low labor market in Haiti, to work for multinational corporations that make clothing or baseballs, right? So there's an attempt right now among the elite, among the powerful, to tap into the poor Haitians, to have them work long hours for less than $1 a day. Everything has shown us that this policy is a failure. It's failed in the past and it's failed around the world. But this is the pursuit, this is the policy, this is the agenda that is being currently pursued right now in Haiti.
May I just ask a question about that? Because it's always fascinated me that the elite, I mean, not that they could have so much power, but that that it seems like it operates two forces. One, the masses of people are not educated enough, it seems to me, to know that they're being manipulated. I'm not sure. And then secondly, they got the power of the United States government basically trying to keep wages low and keep the elite in power. So it's a tough situation.
You know, the elite have impressive resources. They effectively lobby the U.S. Congress. And they pay law firms on K Street quite well to support their positions. They do that quite well. But there are contradictions in the elite, mind you. And the elite, what they do, they espouse a neoliberal policy that is consistent with U.S. economic policy. Whether you're a Democrat or Republican, U.S. has always espoused a free market neoliberal policy. But under those conditions, the people who benefit are those with most power, those with most capital. Okay.
Those who got the businesses.
Exactly. So under those conditions, the elite have been quite successful. When I take a look at the situation, and I look at the power of the elite, I try to be hopeful. And what I see as a counterbalance to the power of the elite is the emerging force of the diaspora. And my hope is that through their collective actions, they will be
Haitian diaspora.
the Haitian diaspora.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Right. That's
They will be a counterforce to the elite. In fact, I think the elite see the Haitian diaspora as a threat, as a visible, as quite a threat. When after Aristide served out his, I think his first term, in the midst of all the political upheaval, there was a re-election in which René Préval eventually won. But prior to that, there was a gentleman, a Haitian, who lived in Texas, who was a billionaire, and one of the few, or maybe a multimillionaire. He was one of the few black millionaires in this country. He was of Haitian ancestry. He was born in Haiti, and he worked for Beatrice, the company.
Reginald Lewis.
Reginald Lewis. He was roundly opposed by the Haitian elite. Now, this is a man who has money comparable to the elite, but they opposed him because of, first of all, he was a very dark-skinned man. Secondly, his politics was not that left. In fact, he had connections to the Republican Party, but he spoke about the people and their needs, about reforming institutions in Haiti, and they were opposed to him. And I thought that was an interesting. I thought it was an interesting position, how they saw the diaspora, someone from the diaspora with potential power, as a threat. In fact, one of Aristid's first moves when he became president in 1991 was to establish an office to support the Haitian diaspora, because he saw that he had to incorporate them in the political discourse in order to counter the force of the elite. Well, once he was removed from power, they moved in a concerted effort to diminish the diaspora's power. In fact, there's still a debate in Haiti as to whether or not to give the diaspora electoral rights, as is the case in Mexico, where people in the diaspora can vote in Mexican election. They're trying to curtail that in Haiti for fear that they may be a counterforce, politically and economically.
I think it's a good move.
It's a good move.
Because in Ghana, I think they just passed a law. Ghana and Nigeria are trying to pass those laws so that their diaspora
Can vote.
can vote.
Okay.
But is it still a color thing? You mentioned that. I mean,
I think it's a color. It's a
people of Pétionville.
there's color. Color O's is a subtext.
It's a subject.
And people are sometimes unwilling to discuss it overtly,
Right.
but it's always an undercurrent in Haiti's politics. Mind you, again, I think the diaspora are less prone to engage in color politics because their experience in this country is that you're either black or white. There's nothing in between.
That's right.
And that understanding has reshaped the way Haitians approach the political conditions. Haitians in diaspora approach the political conditions in Haiti. So color is less a prominent issue. But mind you, the political elite, the 6 or 5 families who control Haiti still play color. They still the color is quite prominent.
But are they? But, I'm sorry to be asking so many questions, but the leaders of Haiti have seemed to have been dark-skinned.
Yeah, Haitian. But they pick dark-skinned people who are willing to bid
to be their surrogate.
Exactly. That's always been the case.
Because Marley is.
Well, Martley, he comes from a family a long line of mulattoes.
Oh, he does?
Yeah, he does. A long line of mulattoes in Haiti.
Do they have any? Do they articulate any relationship with the people in Dominican Republic? Because they have that whole color thing too. I mean, the elite in Haiti, are they?
Yeah, I think they tend to be more cross-border relations with the elite, among the elite cross-border. I mean, the nature. Well, let's just say elites across borders are more likely to communicate with each other. They're on equal footing.
I got you.
They're on equal footing.
Okay.
Let me just say this. Something occurred recently when I was in Haiti. I left Haiti at the end of July, and I was stuck in traffic. I was stuck in traffic because Marceline had inaugurated a carnival called Carnaval des Fleurs, which is translated flower carnival. People have to dress up in flowers. Flower was the theme, and the carnival was to celebrate the improvements he has made in terms of removing the homeless or the tent people away from public spaces, where in fact and resettling them in permanent housing, but that wasn't the case at all. He just removed them out of the site and put them in different temporary housing. Now, the day of that event, it was an important event occurring on the border of Haiti and Dominican Republic. A handful of Haitian intellectuals and Dominican intellectuals got together to commemorate the massacre that had occurred in the 1920s, or in 1920, where close to 20,000 Haitians were massacred. It's called the Parsley Massacre. Haitians were identified by their inability, so-called, to say parsley in Spanish. But they got together to commemorate that event. And Dominicans say they had to apologize for it. So they're owning up to their role and responsibility for this massacre. Now, Martley never talked about it. He completely ignored this momentous occasion. But this is the nature of the relationship right now. As I see some sort of rapprochement occurring between the Dominican Republic and Haiti as it relates to the color issue. I mean, there's still a long ways to go. But I think part of that rapprochement is occurring because more and more Dominicans have had experiences outside their country.
That's right, in the U.S.
Exactly. I mean, the former President Fernandez was educated in the public schools of New York.
Right.
So the color thing is less important for them, is less at the forefront. So they may call themselves something when they're in the DR, but when they're in New York, in the Bronx, they're black. They're black. And they get treated just the same. So they understand the allegiance and they understand the conditions. So things are occurring. I should also say that the Dominican Republic also houses many Cuban exiles. Exiles who are vehemently opposed to Castro, who are very right-wing. In fact, the two coups d'etats in Haiti were launched from the Dominican Republic, and they were supported in large part by Cuban exiles who detested Aristide because of his political stance and his relationship with Cuba. So, the Dominican Republic is still very much there.
That's one of my questions. I was wondering why the U.S., besides, I don't know what kind of natural resources Haiti has in abundance. I know it has a substantial amount, but it's such a small comparatively country. But I'm wondering, is it more political? In other words, they lost Cuba to Russia. So is the emphasis on Haiti and the Dominican Republic more political in terms of not letting them go communist, so to speak?
Yeah, the communist. This is the post-Cold War era. So the communist issue is less prominent. The only viable communist country right now is Cuba, and it's not a threatening country, and North Korea. But for better, China is really a capitalist nation right now. But I think the issue, though, for Haiti is really about markets for consumer goods, markets for multinational corporations, and the access to cheap labor. The population of Haiti is enormous for a Caribbean nation, and is strategically located not too far from the shores of the U.S. So the ability or the possibility of tapping that cheap labor source and conquering that market. Capitalism is always looking for new markets, and Haiti is a market. And so they flood the Haitian market with cheap U.S. rice and grains, which undercuts local production. So there's always an attempt So I think that's the driving force right now. It's less communism, it's more a neoliberal policy of access to market and labor.
I'm just wondering, do many Haitians want to come to the U.S.? Or, I mean, what's the kind of the spirit or flavor of wanting to stay versus wanting to go someplace else?
Yeah, a lot of. I think Haiti is like any other nation. It's been seduced by the shine of the U.S. I mean, you can't go anywhere around the world and not have access to U.S. media outlets, and the world that's portrayed through its various mediums is quite attractive. So there's always that lure, but I mean, we're living in the post 9/11 era where one's ability to access or to enter the U.S. has become more difficult. That being said, Janet Palatano, the Secretary of Homeland Security, I think, has extended special status for Haitians living in the U.S. With dubious or without proper papers. So this is the third time this has been extended consecutively because she feels the conditions in Haiti are still not proper for those to return. So they can still work here for another 18 months without having proper papers.
Well, is there, go ahead, Brother Brown.
No, I just want to say, I'm here because Dr. Asante and this, but it's kind of disappointing not to have more people here.
So we will have him, he's the senior fellow. He'll come back hopefully next year. We will have more people.
That's part of the problem.
The people need to learn this story.
We are, in my opinion, the most misinformed people in the world.
We
Black
are.
Americans.
Right. We are.
And since I've retired about 17 years, well, I traveled most of my life, most of the Caribbean islands, Brazil, Africa, and Japan, China. And what he's saying, we took a cruise at Labadee there at
You went to
Fort
Labadee?
Lauderdale. Yeah, that was several years, about 10 years ago.
Yeah, that's a beautiful beach, isn't it?
Yeah, see, and
That's the beach we went to when we were.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dr. Broxson, he had in commemoration of celebration of the overture, celebration of independence. Putting that history together, what little bit I know is that they were so far advanced than the actual French people, and had he defeated Napoleon's army, and it's still in the mind of the Caucasian, the European. He thinks he owns you because you're a color, And because he defeated, they was promised that they would never rise again.
That's right.
Yeah, see.
That's right.
And he's written this up in his book. You can, you have your own idea. But this young man here, I got the experience of tutoring some of the young students at community college in the language lab, Spanish and English, Korean. There's a lot of that have difficult with our language. So these are the kind of things that we need to have. It's like a think tank, because, like you say, they want, in the United States in particular, that's their, what do you call, pearl, like the French say.
The pearl.
That's their reason. You go to France, all that gold and whatnot is from the labor and the resources of those former colonial places,
That's right.
And there's something about, now I've learned in the 80s now, this is what we got, the black mind is so powerful, but we're dealing with people that really don't have a soul.
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, basically what it comes down to, it's spiritual,
That's right.
Spiritual warfare, So when you think, because you follow the paradigm of a democracy or republic in their sense, well, we have to go back to, you could try to teach us for years, to the African thought in mind.
That's
That's the only way we're gonna get out of this.
That's right.
Because they don't care nothing about you. They don't care
They
anything
don't
about
care.
you. But like history involved, and I said, it's a day coming and it's changing, and that's why so much is happening. And I could be sitting home like the rest of them, looking at all these
That's right.
6 flavors of football, you know.
Kardashian,
Mostly black
Kardashian,
young men
Kardashian.
out there on the field entertaining them. You know, they just by the thousands, you know, keeping us distracted.
Distraction.
But the time has come, like this man just said, that when you can put a person out there with the demonic kind of thing, the head of a nation, the man is demonic.
Right.
You can see that.
Right. You can see it. You can see it. Can I just ask one
Sure,
last
as
question?
many, as many questions as possible.
The
Yeah,
question, well, what I
please.
just want to ask, did former President Aristide give any indication that he had an appetite for more politics?
Yeah, he's, you know, in fact, when we were talking to him, he asked everyone to turn off any recording and not take any pictures for fear that even that could record his voice. But he said, out of respect for the political process and because his position here is still quite unstable,
Right.
he would prefer to stay free of any political activity.
Okay.
In fact, he's devoted himself to his humanitarian activities, and he's in the process, or is in the midst of really building up a school of medicine in Haiti. So the man is quite active, and it's already been established. So he's gotten professors to teach medicine from all over the world to these students who wouldn't have had the opportunity to go to medical school, under the condition that once they've gotten their degree, that they will stay in Haiti and serve the population. Because as we all know, maybe you don't know, there are more Haitians, doctors, outside of Haiti than there are in Haiti. You go to Montreal and you can't throw a cat without hitting a Haitian doctor. But you throw a cat in Haiti and you might have to go 3 times to get a Haitian doctor. So people are well educated, Haitians that is, who have been on living in Haiti. I think this is an interesting contrast too, that as you know now, Haiti is now the host of several ex-presidents, which is unlike Haiti, because in the past, once you serve your term, you have to leave for fear of
Arrested.
of being arrested. Yeah.
Jail.
But they're there right now, and they're trying to live out their lives. But amongst those who returned is former dictator
Duvalier.
Baby Doll.
Right.
Yeah, and not only that, when Baby Doll returned, his security forces were members of a paramilitary force called FRA. And if you follow Haitian politics, this guy Chamberlain has done horrendous things in Haiti. He has massacred hundreds of people. Is still living in Haiti, free and living quite well, because he has the support of one person, maybe more than one person, but one important person, and it's the president. The current president supports him. All right, despite all the massacres, all the things he's done. And again, this is a president who said that he was once a former Totomaku. Now, Duvalier has returned. And this is a man who stole millions from the coffers of Haiti. Millions, and he was living a hog in the south of France. He's returned, and he's still living quite well. But I asked you, have you heard him do anything for the people? And he can't. It's not part of his constitution.
That's right.
You know?
That's right.
But it is our Steve's constitution
That's
that
right.
if
That's
he's
a
in
good
Haiti,
point.
my job is to serve the masses. I am
That's
a leader
right.
to the extent that I'm serving and I'm helping
That's
you.
right.
Where Duvalier, who always has his lips like this, you know, and has this affected mannerism of the French, is living off. Well, he probably gets a sinecure from the Haitian government. All right? And I think it's a shame. And this is the man that, again, the fact that the U.S. would object to Aristide's
Right, but not object to Duvalier.
Duvalier, I find unbelievable.
Thank
You had your hand up.
So I want to kind of elaborate a little more, because he came from, returned from France, so what was his motive?
Well, you know,
did he get arrested when he first?
Well, they claimed that he would be arrested, that they would pursue charges against him. But as I see it, this was all political theater on the part of the current president, and also on the part of the former president Préval. Because Préval, there were rumors about when his term was about to be over that he too was under suspicion for stealing from the coffers. And this is a popular rumor among Haitians. There are all kinds of suspicions. You know, the political rumor in Haiti is hot. You can go to Haiti. But talk politics. They love to talk politics. Black people, we love to talk politics. We love to talk politics.
Politics and religion.
Talk politics, that's right. And sports. But I think there was some sort of a detente, some sort of understanding between Préval and Marceline that he would create the conditions where former presidents were not forced to leave Haiti after serving.
Okay.
So when Duvalier came back, I laughed. I saw clearly that it was all political theory. I knew immediately that he would not be charged, that they would arrest him, that he would be released. All this, okay, but.
It prepared the way for Aristide, didn't it?
Thank you. It prepared the way for Aristide. If Duvalier can return, then surely Aristide can return.
That's right.
And if these two are here, then there's no reason for Préval to leave. So Préval is living real well with his pension in a very beautiful house in the rural part of Haiti. Préval, Duvalier is back, Aristide is back. So there are 3 former presidents living in Haiti, and that's unheard of. Okay, but you know, maybe that's the price one has to pay for those conditions. And I don't know if I'm willing to pay that price. You know, but you know, price for peace, we don't determine those prices, right? So that's the current condition. People don't like this, but I tend to be a political realist in that there is my ideal, and then there's the political reality. And the political reality, the biggest elephant in that political reality room is the U.S.
That's right.
and France and Canada, primarily the U.S. So those are the conditions you have to live with sometimes, and you have to make your steps. You've got to choose your steps quite carefully.
So was this his decision, or they invited him?
This was an orchestrated decision on his part as well. They probably approached him. You know, I don't know what the backroom machination was, but surely he was told, "Hey, you can come back. It's okay to come back." Okay, and this is the script that we will follow once you get back. We will arrest you and make it look like you were going to be charged for your past crimes, but of course we're going to release you. But the conditions are going to be right for you to come back to Haiti and live your life. Because he's always expressed a desire to return to his country. His wife sued him, divorced him, and cleaned him out. He cleaned him out completely, you know. He's living in an apartment in France right now, in Paris, you know. He left the villa in southern France because he couldn't afford it anymore. He wants to return. You know, he wants to return to his country. That's the case. Yeah.
What about young people who want to come to the U.S. from Haiti? Is not a system of quotas that...
I mean, the U.S., I mean, right now, I mean, again, I talk about a post-9/11 situation, but there's also a post-earthquake situation where the U.S. government, Obama, Napolitano, has made it possible for Haitians to go to the U.S., either for medical help or even for temporary visas, and she's extended those visas, and the ideal is that they will send money back to Haiti, you know. But whether there's a long-term policy where Haiti will get preferential status, I doubt it, you know. This is only to the extent that the earthquake is still at the forefront of their minds, you know, at the forefront of their policy. But there's no special avenue for Haitians to go to the U.S., you know. Yes.
Is there an Obama policy toward Haiti, or is he just leaving it up to Bush?
You know, I think Clinton is really the driving force behind his foreign policy.
Right.
And she's such a strong personality. I for the longest time, he'll step in and out occasionally, but it's really Hillary, and secondarily his vice president.
Oh no, Biden.
Biden. Yeah, they're the ones who handle a lot of it, I think. I think he's overwhelmed with a lot of other issues, you know, that he's trying to get through.
Or what is the policy?
The policy towards Haiti?
Yeah.
Well, it's one of it's a humanitarian policy. I think when the earthquake occurred, it was understood by the international community that there was only one power on Earth who could adequately address the conditions that are occurring, and that was the U.S. You know, and France and Sarkozy were a bit embarrassed by the extent to which the U.S. came to the forefront and to help Haiti, and this is a former colony. And Sarkozy made an attempt to reestablish it. This is all part of his
grand plan to reassert France in international politics, but he was pale in comparison. So, yeah, Obama does have a policy. Now, what is it? I mean, I couldn't articulate its 6 or 7 points, but obviously there is a humanitarian policy towards Haiti. And I should say that Obama has members of his cabinet who are of Haitian ancestry, so he has that contact. And the man who took over his position when he was a state legislator in Illinois is Haitian American.
Oh, okay.
So all these things I think makes him have a certain affinity to Haiti.